Look, I have myself basically have had a great innings in my life, in my journalism, and in fact, how many journalists do you know who have traveled to 110 countries? For two reasons. The system enabled me to, and I had the will to fight and do the kind of journalism I did. I have enjoyed myself. If I were given another life, I would seek it here doing the same profession. That's one thing. But on the other hand, when things begin to deteriorate, I am part of a muashara. I'm part of a group. I'm part of a community. I'm part of a family. I'm part of a neighborhood. I'm part of a mohalla, of a qasba. That also plays on me. लौट जाती है उधर को भी नजर, क्या कीजिए अब भी दिलकश है तेरा हुस्न, मगर क्या कीजिए और भी दुख है ज़माने में मोहब्बत के सिवा. That is the angst. You simply cannot say, oh, I am very happy in that I've got a lovely house, well furnished, I'm happy. No. You will be an extremely insensitive human being if you do not take your entire environment into account. This deterioration, I grew up in a family which was bifocal. My father's side, my father's elder brother was the first Congress MLA from Raebareli. Feroz Gandhi wove his parliamentary constituency around my father's assembly constituency. The joke in Raebareli used to be that if Indira Gandhi had married not a Gandhi but another Parsi called Batliwala, would the history of India have been different? This used to be the joke. So I knew Feroz Gandhi as well as a toddler then. At the time of partition, I would have been about 7 years old. 7 years old. Very, very young. My great-grandfather was in jail with Motilal Nehru. Motilal Nehru के साथ नैनी जेल में थे. And his great-grandfather had been hanged with 12 people in 18. So therefore, when people talk to me of nationalism, I look them in the eye and I say, dare you. Now what happened was that we revered Jawaharlal Nehru. We couldn't call him Jawaharlal. We couldn't call him Nehru. We had to call him Panditji. We had to call him Pandit Nehru. This is the way. He could do no wrong. All our eggs were in his basket, not in the Congress basket, in Nehru's basket. Because if you look around, who was the other so-called secular Congress leader? There were none. भाई कोई और तो लीडर का नाम बताओ जवाहरलाल के अलावा. नेहरू. अरे भाई तो नेहरू तो होगा ही, कोई दूसरा तो होगा भाई नहीं. ये but we were very naive. We placed all our eggs in that basket. He told us there will be no partition. He put his imprimatur on the June 3 plan and he partitioned the country because his desire to become Prime Minister had the better of him than the national perspective. He wanted to be, he could never become Prime Minister of all of India. So he said...
So should we blame him for how things have unfolded in our country?
Very much so. The entire Congress Working Committee. There were two people who protested on partition. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan cried copiously and he said, and it is there, you have thrown us to the wolves, he said. Maulana Azad said nothing. He smoked cigarettes. Had Maulana Azad resigned, it would have been very clear, Hindu-Muslim. Maulana Azad left this little room open for the secular googly that the Congress Working Committee was able to throw. All right, no, Panditji must be under compulsion. You see, the Indian Muslim had not created a middle class. He was very feudal. He had not taken to Western education. He was very proud of his Urdu and his culture. The result was, in my family, there were half a dozen PhDs in Urdu. And Urdu was going to decline. you see, and they would not study English because English was the alien thing. The Brahman had taken to Western education. So it was a triangular situation. You follow? So Pandit ji told us, don't worry, we will be slow on land reforms. We will go slow. But in 1952, unbeknown to us, Pandit Govind Vallabh Pant announced in one order, people fell into penury. There were people went hungry for days in my family. They didn't know what had happened. They were very gentle, genteel people. They were not the crafty landlords that others were. They didn't know. They just went under. अच्छा साहब ये भी पंडित जी का कंपल्शन होगा.
मुझे एक चीज़ पूछना है. So Kal, in your very interesting session, that you said that instead of having the sham of secularism as it is now, you said we could have moved directly from the British Raj to the Hindu Raj. So can you please talk
We
about
did
that?
move there.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
We
That
have
actually you have, you could have easily argued with me. Look, 800 years of Muslim rule, 800 years of Muslim rule, 200 years of British rule. We've given you that country there called Pakistan. Now here we are going to be at the steering wheel. Saeed, you want to be here or there? I will always tell them the story of my brother Shanne. Shanne went to Pakistan to see his cousins. He came back. Shanne, how was it? Nice place, too full of Muslims. You see? Yeah. So he found it so naturally I said I would stay on here. But we would then have had a bargain. You want to be at the steering wheel? Be at the steering wheel. We serve British Raj, we will serve this, we will call it.
Is this where we're getting now?
We already have it. It is much worse. If we had settled it then, it would have been an honest and straightforward. Once you have said that we are opposed to two-nation theory, how did you accept a theocratic state of Pakistan? Once you accepted that, the other became automatically obvious. So instead, but you threw this googly. What was the googly? Secular India. Why secular India? Because Jawaharlal Nehru, on his bended knees, asked the last Viceroy, Mountbatten, to stay on as the first Governor General. Why? So that he could fiddle on Kashmir. The Kashmir happened after independence. And you needed the secular argument to keep Kashmir. So therefore, all this mumbo jumbo has been brushed under the carpet. No one wants to talk about it. The Pakistanis don't want to talk about it because Jinnah comes out as less than wise. Mountbatten comes across as someone very vain. The leadership here comes across as people with feet of clay who wanted power. And they partitioned the country for power.
So what does it mean to be a Muslim now? Like, in Modi's
Now,
India, so to say?
Well, it is not Modi's India. Once you had partitioned, what is happening today is a cruder version.
I've never felt as Muslim as I feel now.
Well, because they're doing it rather crudely. Because otherwise, your father has been had. Your grandfather has been had. It's decent of you not to have noticed it. Because already things had changed. The terms of endearment had been changed. And today, at this point in time, what we are having, you make cow dung with urine, you make a paste, and you push that in the mouth of two Muslim boys. It's on your television, and they're vomiting and they're eating. Then you go to the house of one fellow called Akhlaq, and you kill him because you say, well, we suspect that he was eating beef. It was proved, nothing has been proven to this day. You have 11,000 young men in jails, of whom not one case has been proved. The one that has been proved is about Sadhvi, Pratigya, and all these people. So therefore, this is going on and on. Had they agreed on partition then, look, we won't call it Hindu Raj, we'll call it Hindustan. We would call it some name. As Faiz said, तुम कोई अच्छा सा रख लो अपने वीराने का नाम. हमसे कहते हैं चमन वाले गरीबाने चमन, तुम कोई अच्छा सा रख लो अपने वीराने का नाम. We came from a home where Sohar is a song sung at childbirth. My mother's and my grandmother's favorite Sohar was Allah Mian, Hamre Bhaiya ka diyo Nandlal. Oh my Allah, give my brother a son like Lord Krishna. Hazrat Bibi, the Prophet's daughter, is talking to the parrot, the messenger. Jao, go look for Ali Sahab, he has not returned from battle. Go, if you can't find him, go to Vrindavan. Hundreds of Urdu and Muslim poets have written on Lord Krishna. The only poet who's written on Rama in Sanskrit is Abdul Rahim Khan Khana. These people want to forget it. They would be embarrassed. You see, this was the togetherness, and they have ruptured it.
So, but did you feel this otherness at the literary fest too, like when your session was being held?
Suddenly, I think my friend Pavan Verma tried to raise that it. I've never. This book has been universally liked for its softness, soft tones, whereas he became extremely hard as nails in his discussion with me, and I was a little surprised by it. Then I found that it had appeared in Hindi newspapers, and therefore he was playing to that audience because he's a politician, so he was playing to that audience, and it must have appeared in Patna, and in Patna there'll probably be a statement by the JDU chief, and etc., etc. So he'll get some mileage out of it. But there is a little the little venom has settled in the Hindu psyche, and if you stoke it, it comes out. But our purpose was to tone it down, is to take it out, not to accentuate it, which is what he was doing.
What is the future for Muslims in India?
Future for
Should
Muslims
we
in
just
India?
No. I mean, how?
We must
like even
first,
Pavan Verma was
first
saying, yeah.
we must, one swallow does not a summer make.
Sorry.
One swallow doesn't make a summer.
Yeah.
I will say something. I have spoken to hundreds of places on this book, and there's been stunned pin drop silence, and people have said this is the dialogue that we want to have. You see, we need more dialogues. What is the dialogue? The omelette cannot be unscrambled. Partition has happened, that cannot be undone. But we have to live in peace and harmony. If you continue to hate, you have a Muslim Kashmir on a boil, you hate a Muslim country next door, and you have a Muslim population within, then this whole temperature is up. This is always deliberate. Why? Imagine, we trapped ourselves in this triangle. Srinagar, New Delhi. India, Pakistan. Hindu, Muslim. These are one complex of issues. Remember that. That is what we have created. You touch any one of this line, it will affect the other. You cannot, anyone who says I'm charging off to Srinagar to solve the Kashmir problem is lying through his teeth. He's lying to himself, he's lying to the people of Kashmir and to the people of India. It won't happen. He will have to talk to Pakistan. The minute he talks to Pakistan, the Hindu-Muslim temperature will come down. The day Hindu-Muslim temperature comes down, the Hindu consolidation project is hit for a six. There's a Hindu consolidation project going on because of the caste factor. Now, do you see how caste and communalism are playing with each other? That here, so therefore, it has to be kept on a boil to manage the caste problem. Understand that.
So, but do you think we lack a lot of our problems, like problems for Muslims, are because we lack, we don't have a great leadership, no leadership at all in fact?
It would have. I told you the leader of Indian Muslims was Jawaharlal Nehru. You will have to find.
Here in the now.
You will have to find a Hindu leader for yourself, a Hindu leader, and you will have to find a Muslim who will lead the Hindus. You will have to find a Hindu who will lead the Muslims. Otherwise, you will keep having you will have another, end up with another partition. If you keep looking for Muslim leadership and Hindu leadership, there's endless strife. We need a good secular. You see,
We need a secular leader.
secular Hindu leader. What has happened is, unfortunately, the spine of the left has been broken. We need CPML, they are very honest people, if only they can give up violence. There's a complete anathema, leftism is anathema, the machine that belongs to, you can sell everything, but you can't go left, you can't say communism. There's one state in this country where the chief minister has been chief minister for 36 years. From top, you talk to the police commissioner, I'm talking about Tripura, go to Agartala. Can you imagine speaking to the police commissioner with this camera of yours and him saying that there's no crime? Go cover that state. It's a fact. Every scheme that Narendra Modi comes out with is implemented to the last syllable in Tripura. People are completely at peace with themselves. It's a remarkable state, and we don't know it. Why don't we know it? Huh? Why don't we know it? Because he's a communist chief minister. That is why.